Like most people, when they're young, I thought I was invincible. I partied and didn't take my relationships seriously. I was 27 when I was diagnosed with HIV. Everybody turned their back on me. People I had known for years were now afraid of me. I had 3 beautiful children, and I was married for 6 years. My life was just beginning, and now it was over. Or so I thought. Back then, I got few answers and even less education or awareness about my illness. And I don't blame the doctors. Back then, there was just not much information to give. I was petrified of myself and letting people near me. Something that challenged my ability to be consistent with my treatment was dealing with the self-rejection and the stress on my marriage, which eventually ended. My world had become frightening and full of unknowns. But my children needed me, so I decided to get help. Things like depression or isolation in HIV patients were not only new to me, but to my caretakers, so I had doubts about getting help from a therapist. Truth is, the doctors and therapists were learning about my virus, along with the rest of us. But once the resources became available, I'm glad they offered help. The first thing the therapist did was hug me. I was stunned. Just that simple gesture convinced me I wasn't alone. The therapist helped me to accept who I was as a transgender woman, and I began to come out. Acknowledging and accepting my truth lifted mountains of weight off my shoulders. She suggested I should become an activist to confront my feelings. When I first heard the undetectable equals untransmittable message, it changed my life. Before that, I was always feeling like the world was better off without me. Although my therapist had embraced me before, when this stranger hugged me, it finally took away my fear of touch. She told me all about the science behind U equals U, so I could learn about this groundbreaking truth. My jaw dropped in front of everybody at an awareness walk as she taught me that simply from learning to manage my medication schedule with discipline and follow up with my regular labs, I could reach undetectable. And if I remained undetectable, I could also be untransmittable. A little empathy from my doctors and following their advice to seek therapy put me back on track. I had a reason to believe I could get better. But the message that undetectable equals untransmittable was exactly what I needed to hear to become my best self. I could be a mom again. I could date again without the fear of intimacy. I felt human again, just from hearing that U equals U. Undetectable is something I achieved by making sure I stuck to my treatments. And as for my doctors, I just have to keep up with my labs every 6 months. Staying undetectable for me is easier than ever, and it means I'm untransmittable. It means today, HIV is manageable like many other chronic conditions, and I'm no different than anyone who handles a chronic illness. In solidarity, Katie.
People living with HIV who take their medication as prescribed and have an undetectable viral load stay healthy and have effectively no risk of transmitting HIV to their sexual partners.